don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say before I see him calling me out and want the fight and everything. I see before. I say before he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
Of course. I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just got to beat him.
When two champions collide, the world listens. On the latest episode of the G.O.A.T.S podcast, Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford sat side by side, joined by none other than Dana White and Tom Brady. But this wasn't just a friendly chat. This was two generational icons giving us an unfiltered look into their mindsets ahead of the most anticipated fight in years. Canelo, known for his war-tested resume and granite chin, questions the depth of Crawford's resume. Meanwhile, Crawford, the undefeated switch-hitting phenom, is determined to prove he's just as elite, if not greater. Mutual respect exists, but don't let the calm demeanors fool you. These men are ready to battle not just for belts, but for legacy. Let's dive deep into what was said and what it truly means.
Of course. I don't have to have enough power to hurt him. I just got to beat him.
Crawford opened the conversation with a statement that revealed just how cerebral his approach to fighting really is. He doesn't rely solely on knockout power. Instead, his confidence stems from his ability to outthink and outbox his opponents. This mindset showcases a key difference between him and many punchers in the sport. Crawford is a technician. He understands that to beat Canelo, it's not about overwhelming him with brute force. It's about delivering the kind of calculated performance that neutralizes Canelo's strengths. This quote sets the tone for the rest of the conversation. Crawford isn't here to brawl. He's here to break down for fans and critics who doubt his chances at 168. This quote is a reminder that boxing is as much a mental game as it is physical, and Bud believes he's ahead in that category.
I fight everybody out there, every style, and I'm gonna do my job and put all my experience, all my talent there. And
Canelo responded with the voice of experience, asserting that he's fought every style out there: orthodox, southpaw, movers, pressure fighters. He's seen them all. What makes this statement powerful is how it reinforces the difference in resume between the two fighters. Canelo's been in wars with GGG, boxed with Mayweather, outclassed Caleb Plant, and fought much bigger men like Sergey Kovalev. When he says he's going to use all his experience and talent, it's not just talk. It's a reminder of just how seasoned and battle-tested he is. This isn't new territory for him. It's familiar ground. Crawford may be special, but Canelo is proven.
You know, I'm different. I'm an elite fighter. So that's the difference. Big difference.
In this short but impactful moment, Canelo emphasized the word elite. He draws a hard line between good, great, and elite, and he puts himself in the highest tier. The implication? That Crawford, for all his accolades, still has something to prove against the very best in the sport. For Canelo, being elite isn't just about being undefeated or flashy. It's about who you've beaten, how you've bounced back, and the consistent level of opposition. While Crawford sees himself as the best, Canelo's essentially saying, you haven't been in the deep end yet. This quote is about identity, and Canelo's making it clear he views himself as a cut above.
I've been in the making.
No, I never thinking about the fight Crawford. I never in my life, because he's a low weight than me. So, but I never thinking about it. But that's the fun part of boxing. You never know what is gonna happen, right? And now we are here. And I'm glad to share the ring with one of the best fighters out there, and I just can't wait.
Canelo's honesty shines through here. He admits that Crawford was never originally on his radar, not because of skill, but because of size. This reveals how much boxing has changed, how bold matchups are becoming more common, and how respect is earned through risk. For Canelo to accept this fight, despite previously dismissing it, shows a shift in how he views Crawford now. It's no longer about weight classes, it's about legacy. And by agreeing to this bout, Canelo acknowledges that Bud has climbed high enough to be taken seriously, even if the weight disparity still exists.
Obviously he's a special fighter. He's a good fighter, but that's why they are good weight classes, right? And we're gonna fight.
Here, Canelo reinforces a long-standing truth in boxing: size matters. While he gives Crawford his flowers, he still leans on the idea that divisions exist for a reason. It's both a reality check and a confidence boost. Canelo is effectively saying that talent aside, physicality plays a huge role, especially at the elite level. This quote taps into one of the biggest debates leading up to this fight. Can a smaller man like Crawford outclass a naturally bigger, stronger fighter like Canelo? For Canelo, it's clear. Bud's good, but the weight jump might be too much.
Well, I won't say like to. It will end with my hand rose, making history.
This statement from Crawford is bold and unwavering. He's not hoping to win, he's expecting to. The tone here shows a fighter who's not just confident in his training, but in his destiny. He views this fight as his moment, a history-making opportunity that will define his legacy. Crawford doesn't see himself as the underdog, even though many might. This is the mindset that has kept him undefeated. It's not arrogance, it's a champion's belief. And if you look at his career so far, that belief has never wavered, even when the odds have.
You know, I might be the smaller fighter, you know, but Canelo can testify to this. He went up against bigger fighters and been victorious. You know, so all that smaller fighter and I'm the bigger fighter, that goes out the window when you got skills.
This quote is central to the entire matchup. Crawford acknowledges the size gap, but flips the narrative by highlighting skill. He even references Canelo's own career, how he went up in weight and still found success. In doing so, Crawford is not just defending himself, he's challenging the entire notion that size is destiny. For him, it's about ability, not scale. This perspective adds depth to the fight's storyline. If Bud pulls it off, it will be seen as one of the most tactical and skilled victories in recent memory, and that's exactly the kind of statement he's aiming to make.
You know, but Canelo, he's a tremendous fighter. He's got the skills, the experience, the power. He got everything. That's why it's so intriguing.
Crawford doesn't hold back in praising Canelo here. Power, experience, technique, it's all there. But this isn't submission, it's strategy. Crawford knows he can't walk into the ring underestimating a fighter like Canelo. This quote shows that Bud is mentally locked in. He understands exactly what he's facing, which is why his preparation has to be immaculate. There's no room for error when facing someone as complete as Canelo. But the fact that Crawford still believes he can win, even after giving Canelo full credit, speaks volumes about his confidence and readiness.
You know, but Canelo, he's a tremendous fighter. He's got the skills, the experience, the power. He got everything. That's why it's so intriguing.
Here, Crawford addresses the elephant in the room, his untested presence at 168. He acknowledges what everyone is thinking. We know how great Terrence is in the lighter divisions, but what about when he moves up? This self-awareness adds authenticity. Instead of brushing off the doubts, Crawford uses them as motivation. He's not afraid of the unknown. In fact, he embraces it. And by doing so, he creates intrigue. Fans and analysts alike are wondering the same thing. Will his speed, timing, and ring IQ translate at super middleweight? Crawford says yes, and this fight is his ultimate proving ground. It's no longer about proving he belongs, it's about proving he can rule, even at a weight class designed for natural 168-pounders like Canelo.
We know what Canelo brings to the table, but nobody knows what Terrence Crawford is bringing to the table at 168, and that's why the fight is going to be so intriguing. I never thought in a million years of me fighting Canelo.
This quote further deepens the suspense surrounding the matchup. Crawford makes a compelling point. Canelo's game is known and feared, but his own strategy at 168 remains a mystery. That unpredictability could be his most valuable weapon. What kind of Terrence Crawford are we going to see on fight night? Will it be a slick mover, a pressure fighter, a blend of both? This uncertainty keeps Canelo guessing, and that's dangerous. Crawford frames this fight as a moment of reinvention, not just proving he's great, but proving he can evolve into something greater. If he shocks the world, it won't be luck, it'll be calculated brilliance few saw coming.
Canelo's the last great. Terrence Crawford the last great. So why not make it a super great fight?
Crawford makes it clear this isn't just a fight, this is the fight. He sees it as two legends at the tail end of their prime colliding to determine who is the greatest of their era. Crawford's words carry gravity here. He's not chasing a payday, he's chasing greatness. By calling it a super great fight, he positions both himself and Canelo as the last of a dying breed. Fighters willing to take on the biggest risks. This sentiment isn't just powerful, it's promotional gold. He's selling the magnitude of this fight while reinforcing why it matters for the sport. Legacy is on the line.
But every time I did say something, I said I was going to win, and I'm saying that right now. I'm going to win.
Period. Once again, Crawford delivers a simple but potent declaration. He doesn't know how the fight ends, but he's certain of the result, a victory. This mindset is consistent with everything we've seen from Bud throughout his career. He doesn't boast or make outrageous predictions. Instead, he sticks to quiet confidence backed by elite skill. The phrase, "I'm going to win," isn't said with arrogance. It's said with assurance. It's the type of energy you hear from champions who've never tasted defeat and don't plan to start now.
In American
I'm gonna win
and
it.
Spanish.
I'm gonna win.
Spanish first.
¿Ah?
In Spanish first.
Voy a ganar.
¿Verdad?
Voy a ganar. Esa es la idea, ganar.
Canelo's response is just as resolute. He doesn't entertain the idea of losing. It doesn't exist in his world. He trains, sacrifices, and prepares with only one thing in mind: victory. It's this laser-sharp focus that's carried him through wars in the ring and setbacks outside of it. His mindset is not just about confidence, but consistency. You don't reach Canelo's level without elite preparation and a relentless will to win. In this moment, he makes it clear. He's not just coming to fight, he's coming to dominate, to make history, and to silence any doubters who think the young lion can dethrone him.
Don't get me wrong, okay? He's a good fighter, a great fighter. I always say before I see him calling me out and won the fight and everything, I see before. I say before, he's a great fighter. But if you look at his career, mention one elite fighter. Just mention me one elite fighter.
This was the most controversial moment of the podcast. Canelo questions Crawford's resume, and fans felt that. While Bud is undefeated and dominant, many critics have pointed to the lack of elite opposition compared to Canelo's lineup of killers: GG, Mayweather, Byball, Jacobs, Lara, Trout. Canelo's list is long and brutal. This question wasn't a diss, it was a challenge. Canelo's saying, "You're great, but greatness is proven in the ring against other greats." And that's what September is about. Crawford must answer that question not with words, but with fists.
Champions,
September.
good fighters, but elite fighters is different. Wait.
So I'm gonna fight an elite fighter in September.
Yeah, okay.
Then
we
gonna see.
want to find out.
Then we're
We're
gonna
gonna
find out.
This back and forth perfectly sums up the dynamic. Canelo draws a line between being a champion and being elite. Crawford fires back immediately, "I'm going to fight an elite fighter in September." That's the heat fans crave. Respectful tension with real stakes. Canelo's challenge forces Crawford to rise, and Crawford embraces it. This exchange underscores how both men define greatness differently. For Canelo, it's resume and longevity. For Crawford, it's dominance and versatility. They're both right, but only one will prove it in the ring.
But you know, after fighters fight me, they never the same. So I just hope
Yeah.
your career continue.
If you look at my
afterwards.
career, it's never same after me.
Crawford closes the show with a chilling reminder he breaks fighters. After stepping into the ring with him, most never recover the same way. It's a psychological and physical statement. Crawford's not just planning to win, he's planning to change Canelo. That's the mark of a great fighter, not just beating opponents, but transforming their careers. With this closing line, Bud sends a final message: "Don't underestimate the damage I can do." And come September, the world will see if that prophecy holds true. The G.O.A.T. Twitter pod gave us more than quotes. It gave us clarity. Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford respect each other, but that respect stops when the bell rings. Canelo questions the depth of Crawford's journey, while Crawford believes he's about to write the most important chapter in boxing history. Two all-time greats, two mindsets, one ring. Come September, we find out who's right and who's left questioning. Until then, stay tuned, stay locked in, and subscribe to Box Eye Hub, where boxing legends meet boxing truth.